You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. Wepa, what up, everybody? It's your boy Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders Undercover Capes, and welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders podcast. Today, exciting episode. We got two amazing people here. First up, we're going to be talking to the president and publisher of Interpop Comics, right? Along with their group editor. Let me introduce Brian, David, Marshall, and Rachel Gluckstern. Rachel G, I like it like that. Yo, what's going on? You know, she's a queen girl. Oh, Rachel G, son.
When I type it out, it covers my pretty face up. So
there we go. So how you guys doing today?
After that intro, I'm doing great.
Yeah, really.
Who needs coffee? Right?
I always need coffee, but
I'm an OG New Yorker, man. I drink black coffee, and it's just I live with it inside my body. I guess you cut me, I bleed black. You know, no sugar.
Same.
All righty. Folks, let's talk here because I know that back in the July 17th, you guys had like an awesome block party about this awesome title comic universe emergence. It was NFTs, all this awesomeness and stuff. But before we get into that awesomeness of the emergence comic books and all that goodness, let's talk about the development of Interpop. What's Interpop? How did Interpop come into play? A little bit about that.
Sure. So Interpop is a company building digital collectibles on the Tezos blockchain. So we're building NFTs. We use the term minting responsibly because there's a lot of misconceptions about NFTs. And one of the reasons both Rachel and I are here and why we're working with Tezos is because when you it's a clean, what we would call a clean blockchain. And it's basically 10 million times more energy efficient than a lot of the blockchains that have caused some of the misconceptions out there about NFTs. And then the other thing that we're looking to do is, rather than just making images that you can own, we want people to own their digital comics. We want people to own their digital game pieces. We want people to own their digital, media. We're all used to this idea that, we go into a free-to-play game and we spend money. Or we go into a comics portal and we spend money, but what are we buying? What do we own? Where I'm a collector. I love, I never sell anything, Al, but I like to know that I can.
Yes, agreed. When you need it. I mean, that's my thing. I don't really want to sell my stuff, but hey, when there comes a need, I know that I have this alternate investment option in here that people look into, and like, hell, I could be okay.
Yeah. So that was really the motivation. As we started looking at building games and comics in this digital space.
What's own though? What do you mean by own? Am I going to get a physical product? Is it a downloadable product that I'm going to own? What am I owning?
Well, what you do is you own a token that says this is a unique copy of this comic or this card. This is where it was, minted in order. This is this unique thing, and you own that asset. So, think about buying a digital comic. It's the same experience that you might have buying a digital comic on another platform, but you own it. It's in your wallet. You could say, "Hey, Rachel, I know you like this comic. Let me transfer this to you. I think you'll love it." Or you could sell it, or you could trade it. So it's basically some of the stuff we've become familiar with, but now you have some agency over what happens to it once you own it.
Gotcha. And do I choose my wallet? I could use any wallet, or do you guys have a specific wallet?
We have a specific wallet right now that we use in all of our platforms. But you can move stuff around as you see fit, right? If you're a more sophisticated user.
Gotcha. So you have a user interface where I could see all this and store my goodies and whatnot and transaction and is there a community involved behind that? Within the landscape of Interpop as well.
Sure, we have a Discord channel where people engage and talk and, tell us what they're thinking and ask us questions about how things work. There's, obviously, social media has been a big place for people to engage with us and to talk about things. And yeah. And then, we've also done some virtual events. You mentioned Block Party. We did a big convention on a platform called Topia, which is kind of like imagine Zoom, but you actually need to walk up to someone to talk to them like it was real life.
Oh, word? Really?
Yeah, it was really super cool. We had a bunch of creators there, and we had
how did you stumble upon that?
It was we were just using a lot of different meeting platforms when we got started. This company has been spun up almost entirely during a pandemic, so a lot of our. And then this was a platform we found, and we really liked it. And we started talking to some of the people there. And we were like, we should throw a comic convention. And they were like, yeah, we should throw a comic convention. Ooh. And it was it was super cool. And so we're gonna be doing some more stuff there in the future as well.
But what led to the creation of Interpop? What was the day you said I need to do something or I want to do something? What was that entrepreneurial spark that started, the Interpop?
I feel that has been Brian's lifelong thing.
Really?
Yeah, I've been, I published comics when I was much younger. I've written comics. I've designed games. I've worked in games. I've, been in the collectibles space, physical collectibles. And at some point when, about 2 years ago, when I was starting to work on a game, digital game with somebody, they expressed the idea that, maybe these game pieces could be NFTs. And I'm like, what's an NFT? Right? That was the first time someone.
Are you insulting me?
Someone had put those letters in sequence, that sequence for the first time to me, right? I was like, what? And we started talking about it, and I was, pretty skeptical, but as we talked, it made sense to me as someone who's a collector that, and someone who doesn't find that same experience from the digital that I get out of physical collecting. And so we started with a trading card game. And then as we started talking about the things that you could do in the space, it became more and more exciting to me and to the people we were working with. And we realized, we wanted to do this with digital comics. Nobody was doing that at this point. And we thought it was really exciting. And I, have known Rachel for a long time and was excited about the opportunity to bring her onto our adventure and say, hey, here's this universe of superheroes that we want to tell these NFT stories about. And she said, cool, and she's run with that ever since and turned it into this really exciting comic book line, right? Where we have multiple comics going right now. We have multiple characters launched. We have people able to read those comics for free if they want, but we also have people able to buy limited edition collectibles and people able to buy more lower priced collectible versions that let them vote on the content of our comics.
Oh, we're nice. On that Jason Todd level, I hope they're not killing anybody.
we will.
Funny you should say that.
Yeah.
I love it. It's gonna be. It sounds like so much fun, And you're talking about that universe of characters, and I want to, start getting into Rachel. Have you always been a comic fan, Rachel? Is this like stuff that was right up your alley?
Well, yeah. I come from a proud line of geeks. My uncle collected marbles in the 70s. My dad had a ton of books on comics history. My mom used to collect Thor, which I always have to say, otherwise she gets very indignant. So I grew up very steeped in comic books and superheroes.
That's amazing.
And the history. And when I was in college, I decided I was A, going to be an editor, B, be a comic book editor. And that
so you knew clear cut then that you wanted to be an editor. And what was it? What was it about that editorial part that made you want to, really dig into that side of the business?
Well, my mom was an editor. So again, just kind of a family business, I think.
Okay.
Although we went in wildly different industries. But I can't draw. And I'm an okay writer, but an editor doesn't have to write or draw, which I'm sure is making my artists and writers very happy to hear right now. But, you know, I mean, an editor is able to help bring out the best in these talented people and help develop the characters to be the most interesting, fully fleshed versions that they can be, and just be in it from pitch to publication. It's, you know, you are never done with an issue. Well, you are. Eventually, it goes out of your hands and into the reader's hands. But it feels like you're never done with an issue.
So, how did you feel when Brian reached out to you with this opportunity? You know, to be here in the start of a brand spanking new universe.
Oh man, I was so excited about the universe. You know, I read all the character concepts he had, and I was like, "Oh wow, there's so much we could do with this." And what's important to me is that we tell stories that are fun, that are contemporary, that have people in costumes.
Yes, thank you.
Right, that seems to be sort of a lost thing at the moment, and I read superheroes because they have cool costumes. That's part of it. But it was just, there were so many fun concepts that Brian had put together, and I was so excited to be able to, you know, present them to the public.
Awesome. And Brian, man, what were you digging in? Because look at this panel here, and who's your artist? I mean, how did you build this squad?
Well, Rachel's put together the squad.
She put the squad. Talk about it, kiddo. Wait up, how you put the squad? Because this page is gorgeous. And who is this character?
This is the character Shimmer Storm. She can create multiple copies of herself. She has a little complicated relationship with time. Some of these copies are versions of her that might have made a different choice in time, kind of a sliding doors type of thing. And this was one of our variant covers for the Zero issue, done by the amazing Mike and Laura Allreds.
Woo! The Allreds are just ill people. Yo. Jesus Christ, extremely talented. My God.
Oh, they were so nice. Mike is the sweetest, and I mean, look at this cover.
Yeah, man, it's such a perfect little vignette for this character. Really.
And how did you even hook up with the Allreds for this? That's awesome.
We follow each other on Twitter.
Don't you love Twitter? See, people say Twitter. No, it's not. If you stay out of the drama, it's a nice place.
It is. I have enjoyed the network I've developed over the years, and
agreed.
I don't know if you know this, but I was at DC for over 10 years.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
What was the tenure? What years?
Came on board late 2004 and then left in 2015 when they
moved.
When they moved, I could have gone with them, but I felt.
Why didn't you? Oh.
Well, I felt if I was going to do anything else with my career, that was the time to do it. Right.
Nice. That was the do or die moment for you.
Pretty much.
You know what? I love it. You remember the moment, but that's great because look what you're working on now. Jeez.
Yeah. I don't think I would have had this chance if I'd gone to Burbank. So I worked at DC and I loved it and I worked on some cool stuff. But I'm glad I took the chance to spin out when I did.
That's good. You see, folks, take a chance here. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Sometimes that thing that happened in life is just a sign, right? You never know.
And sometimes being scared is telling you that what you're doing and what you're on the brink of is exciting and would be meaningful to you if you accomplish it. So sometimes being scared is fine.
It's crazy. Yeah, sometimes I'm scared. Shit, I get scared a lot. I'm like, oh man, what am I about to do? All right. So who's this character? Because this looks fire too, yo. The heck?
This is the cover, the main cover to the 9-0. That character is the crime blotter. But at the risk of spoiling the end of the first issue there, he's also the time blotter. And he is a central character in our universe. And the art for this cover is by Steve Ellis, who's had Steve's someone I've worked with for a long time, and someone who has set the visual tempo for this universe on a lot of the characters and settings. And so Crime Blotter is a character that he and I both have a pretty deep affection for in this world.
Steve is also the artist on our ensemble team book, The Nine, where Time Blotter has been kind of tasked to assemble a group of people, 9 of them, himself included. And that's not going to be easy for him.
Gotcha. Oh, who is this? Look at that.
That's the Devastatrix.
Devastatrix? Sound like kick my ass.
She probably could. She
can. Look at her.
She's actually a former romantic attachment of the Crime Blotter. They were part of a superhero team called the Upstarts that is no longer together. Devastatrix and Crime Blotter are no longer together either, which may be part of why that team is no longer together. The Devastatrix has gone a different route on being a superhero. She decided, that fighting crime wasn't quite where she wanted to be. So she formed a superhero fighting league where she's able to work with heroes, superpowered beings to, be entertainers. And, she actually works within the criminal justice system to actually rehabilitate criminals to use their powers in a more productive way and not have to be just like a good guy or a bad guy.
You can think of it as her running a sports entertainment league.
Yeah, you know what I'm thinking here? Like, she's the perfect match for Booster. Because Booster is all about the marketing and the money, man. There you have a star client right there, and Booster, if you ever they would let him go. Wow.
And this is another variant cover from the Zero issue, and this is by Amanda Connor and Alex Sinclair.
Jeez, yeah, Connor, Amanda rants a lot on Twitter. Yeah, she awesome, yo. She a boss, son.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite comic artists of all time.
Yeah, her and Jimmy. I told them once because we were doing the Repop thing, right? And I saw them there, and I said, like, yo, you guys are the Jay-Z and Beyonce of comics, comics royalty. They started done, and I never heard that one before.
It's a good comparison, though.
Yeah, they are. Though. They're the rock stars in comic, as a couple, they really are. Ooh, who this? This is Fuego too. My God, look at this. Vicious.
This is one of my favorite characters, but spoilers, he's dead.
He's dead. Damn.
We start out with him dead. This is the villain, Phaeton, and he's really just a kid. He's like 16 or so.
At 16, looking that evil? Jeez, yo, this is like 90s New York all over again.
This cover is by the amazing Yuko Shimizu. And, she is a fine artist. Like, literally, she is a fine artist, but also an artist of fine work. But we were together on a Batman cover one time, and she has done a lot of work for Vertigo. And I think her work is just so incredible. And she really captured the intensity because he is a kid and he has these powers, but they got the better of him and something had to be done. And that's why he's dead.
Wow, yo, this is amazing. Is he going to be part of the 9 or something?
Well, yeah, he is supposed to be one of the 9, but how's that going to work?
Yeah, especially with the other dude's attitude. Hey, oh, dope. Oh my God, I love how this is like a very explosive looking cover. Love it. Especially that design in the background. Love it. Who this?
Well, this is Phaeton's father.
Yeah, Professor Helios, formerly Helios. He's one of the first superheroes in this universe, member of a team called the Genesis Squadron. And this cover is by David Lapham.
Oh man, you got these legends, kiddo. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I've known David for a long time. I was really excited to get a chance to have him lend his talents to this universe. for this cover. So really exciting to have that happen.
It was a murderer's row of variant cover artists for this. And we've continued that because we have 3 variant covers for every issue we put out. So we are
Nice.
constantly bringing in new artists or working with old favorites again.
That is, listen, that art is just amazing. I am so digging it. So if people wanted to get their hands though, I mean, do you have physical copies? These are digital copies. What's popping? What's the story here with the access?
So if you go to interpopcomics.com, you can you can eventually read all of our stories for free if you want, right? You can go there and the stories are serialized in 8-page chapters every week. And so like once a comic comes out as an NFT, starting the next week, we begin serializing that chapter by chapter, and it's available for people to read for free. If people want to actually own one of the comics or own one of the comics with a limited edition variant cover, then they can, within the comics reader, right there you go, interpopcomics.com, they can just go there and purchase one of the comics pretty easily. It feels like the same thing, a very traditional web experience. It's not intimidating. It's not, crazy crypto protocols. That's all there, but you don't see it, right? It's a really well-designed experience. And then you can also, as each new comic comes out, you can buy it that week. It's generally under $10 USD. The price fluctuates a little bit based on the value of Tezos at the time. But you can buy one of those comics, and then there'll be an opportunity for you as the owner of one of those comics to vote on something that's going to happen in an upcoming issue.
Oh, fire.
So we've had people. So it's the next issue of the 9, Rachel, where the cover was voted on by fans. Is that correct?
Yes, the 9 number 2. It comes out this week, and the main cover was done by Steve Ellis. And fans looked at 3 cover sketches and voted on which one would be the winning sketch. I think we created a bias by naming the winning sketch Murder Board, because who wouldn't want to vote for something called Murder Board? But it was my favorite sketch, so I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and then we have an anthology title called Emergence Presents, and there's 3 characters that get featured in each issue, which has been really exciting because we've gotten to work with a number of really exciting talents. Here you can see the list of people who worked on this: Alex Segura, Stuart Moore, Eric Anthony Glover, Jason Masters, Daniela Ferny, and John Amore. John Amore, by the way, has been a revelation to me. He's like one of my favorite new artists. I mean, I don't think he's new. He didn't just suddenly pop into existence with our story, but like this is the first time I really got to see his work, and I'm absolutely in love with his stuff.
Great.
A great story. He and Alex did for Mazer, which is that sort of fuchsia.
You read my mind. Who's Mazer? He looks pretty cool. I like the color scheme.
So actually, with these covers, each week that the new free chapter is presented, we gray out the character who's not being. The characters who are not being featured, and we leave the one in color who is this one.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that idea. Even for real traditional comics too, you could do that. If the focus, tell us the truth, folks, because there's so much cover bait. They had nothing to do with the story that's going on here.
So what's very exciting, if you keep scrolling down. So that was our first issue of Emergence Presents. We asked readers to vote on which character from that anthology should return first. As you can see, the Abyss was the big winner. He's the big red cloaked mysterious guy.
Oh, nice.
And he will be returning in Emergence Presents number 3. That's how fast we are incorporating these things.
Wow. So how does the team work? How do you get that work? I mean, is the team all over the place? How do you handle your EIC duties? How quick is the turnaround?
The turnaround is fast. I'm not gonna lie. The thing is, the voting only works because it is a digital comics process. So if it was print publication, there's so much more time in advance. I'd have to prep, everything for the printer. But because we are doing it digitally, we can work with the voting segment which is live for 1 week after the comic comes out.
Okay.
And incorporate the feedback from that vote.
Excellent. Now, I want to ask here because you guys are talking about past teams, the Upstarts, the Genesis Squad. Yo, are we gonna get any more books that focuses on that history? Because I love that you guys already, you said in the now, but you already have a past legacy. Like, what? There's a whole new universe. There's a past. What's going on? I want to know.
Well, if readers demand it, anything's possible. So
yeah, I mean,
let us know.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I loved as a kid reading comics, and even as an adult reading comics, was jumping into a book sort of midstream, right? And you'd pick it up and you'd be like, and there'd be like editor's notes. And, as you know, in issue 122 of Amazing Spider-Man, this happened, right? And I loved that sort of, feeling your way around the fog of war of this kind of vast universe and uncovering this history. And we really, while we're telling very distinct stories in the now, we definitely wanted people to have that experience that there is a lot going on here. There's a lot beneath the surface. There's a lot to explore. And, there's a lot of chickens that are going to come home to roost for these characters from their past actions and from their past interactions. And we will tell the stories of where those chickens had wandered off to before they came back. So
I can't wait. So what's next for Interpop, the Emergence? What are the next few projects that people can anticipate, or any new parties? What's popping?
Well, the biggest thing I'm excited about is next week, 10/27, we will launch our teen solo title, #ZoeMG.
ZoeMG. Oh.
She is the social media influencer of this world. Her powers allow her to influence other people's emotions, which can wade into some very interesting ethical discussions. But she will be our third title. We launched we had our 0 issue in July, then we launched Emergence Presents in August, the 9 in September, and now ZoeMG at the end of October. And that will be our line going forward for a while.
Yeah, and Zoe we're really excited about it. We have Danielle Page writing it. Danielle's a New York Times bestselling author. She did the Mira graphic novel for DC Comics. She's a fantastic voice, and there's no better person to write a comic about a teenage girl superhero.
Oh, she gets it so good.
She's
great.
perfect. And she's pretty good she knows her social media too. And then we were really struggling to find the perfect artist for this, right? Because this is a really uniquely visual character, and there's a lot of expression that needs to come across. There's a lot of emotion, and Rachel is really like kind of went out and signed one of the hot new rookies of the year, right? Like this is like first round draft pick material. Rachel, who is drawing this book for us?
Oh, I'm super excited. This is the artist PJ Kawa. And this might be his first ongoing series.
Wow.
But he really fantastic, a perfect fit for this material.
So good.
Oh, I cannot wait. So again, that's on the 27th of this month. That's dropping.
Yep. And so on that date, you'll be able to purchase a copy of that comic. which would be like around $9 or $10 US, or some amount of Tezos. Or if you wait until the following week, and we're totally on board with you waiting, you can start reading it week by week for free, all at interpopcomics.com. So the following Wednesday, we'll drop the first chapter in our free to read format. And then we'll also, each of those weeks, we'll also be releasing very limited edition variant covers of that comic. So, if you're like, hey, I just want to read this, then you can do that. If you're like, hey, I just want to spend a not small amount of money on this really cool digital collectible, you can also do that. But then if you're also like, hey, I want to buy this and I want to vote on something that's happening in the comic and I want to sort of shape the way this comic looks going forward, then you can do that as well. And that's kind of like the way we've positioned this. We don't want it to feel like people are just priced out of enjoying these comics. You could always just read them. We're super happy to put them out there for you like that.
And do you foresee a future where maybe we're gonna get some animation, some film, something else out of this bad boy, or what? Are we looking at that far ahead right now?
We dream.
We would, that's certainly something we would love to do. But I think first and foremost, speaking for Rachel, we love comics and we just want to tell the best comic stories we can tell. Given this unique opportunity to engage with fans and to have those fans shape the way things work, and if things work out that way in the future, that would be amazing, and I think we would all be thrilled. But really, we just want to tell great stories and let as many people as possible read them.
Thank you. Preach. That's the good stuff. Exactly. That's what we're looking for. We don't need nothing else but good stories that take us out of this world for a moment.
This is definitely a different world.
I'm digging it. So my last question here is like, are you guys gonna make any convention appearances for the rest of the year, or is that something or in 2022? Any plans?
So I could tell you, I did some comic convention adjacent stuff for New York Comic Con, which was my first. I went to a party. I had lunch with some people. I saw Rachel for maybe the second time in her tenure with the company. And I think we are we're looking at a calendar of events for 2022 and thinking about what we can do. A lot of it'll depend on where the world is in terms of a pandemic and other things, and how how responsibly we feel we can go out and interact with the world. But that's certainly something that we want to do, and we can't wait to take the sort of emergence and Interpop story out on the road and meet comic fans and talk to them about it in person.
Definitely, because I know podcasts and vidcasts are great platforms, but nothing's better than meeting people one-on-one, and you tell them, face, this is what's going on, and they feel it, and they see it, what you're showing them. Oh my God, I think that would be such a great benefit to Interpop. I want to see this blow up because I love how the titles look. Art is amazing. I mean, the pricing is fantastic, and again, you're also getting people acclimated to this new digital realm of collections, which I'm digging. So is there also education behind this on the Interpop platform for people that are newbies into the world of NFTs?
That's a great question. There is not. I mean, we've really relied on the Discord for a lot of that discussion and education, but we do have an FAQ on the page. But I think we are going to be in the next couple months. We're going to be rolling out a podcast about what we're doing, and we're also going to be releasing some video content in connection with comics and games. So it's certainly something we've been just so busy getting this all built, and there's definitely some more educational materials that we could be putting out there, because there's a lot of information out there. Not all of it is accurate about NFTs. And we certainly want to continue to have that dialogue with people, and we're certainly always open to hearing people and talking to them about it.
Because I love it. As you said, minting responsibly. This is why I want people to understand, get educated, because you guys are doing some fun stuff, good stuff. You have a great original comic book universe, something we need. Oh, like what was it? The Onion said rated O for original. You know?
What I do want to add to Brian's point is in getting all this up and running, at the very least, we've tried to make the site as new reader friendly as possible. You don't have to be a tech person to understand how to work it. You just sign in with one of your existing accounts, your Google or your Twitter, and it's seamless from there. So we've tried to make it as frictionless an experience as possible.
And thank you on behalf of those that are not technically inclined. Hopefully that'll reduce the amount of calls that I get. How do you do this again? Oh my God, I gotta show you again for the 10th time.
Wait, we can call you for that stuff, Al, because we will. We always have technical questions about things.
Let me tell you, I am my team's IT, so I'm not just the boss. I'm also the IT department. Anytime, hey, the email, the site, the WordPress. Oh my God, guys, please, killing me. Right. I love it though. This is part of the entrepreneurial journey. As you said, you keep busy. You understand. There's so many things that happen, but the journey is fun. So long as you keep a level head and you keep your eye on the goal, it's just gonna happen. So all I wish is much success for the whole Interpop and emergence line. I see it, especially my people from the north. Let's get it done, kiddos. I love it. You got Queens and Jersey in the house. I'm digging it. So folks, let's do it one last time. I want you people to understand where you got to go to engage in this wonderful universe. Go visit the website at interpopcomics.com. You can also visit interpop.io. More newsy, right? More bloggish, you said, right? And obviously, you can follow them on social, on Twitter, see everything that they're up to, and on Instagram. Okay, check out Rachel right here, the quickest editor from Queens ever, right there, Rachel G, son. All right, and then of course follow Brian at Top 8 Games. All right. And remember,
warning you, it's mostly just my cat, cocktails, and me talking about Squid Game. So that's all you get on that thread, on that feed.
I gotta get on the Squid Game thing. I have not had the opportunity to sit down and watch this because my wife, she loves pop culture, but then not everything in it, Sure. So if she sees one piece of cheese that she don't like, I'm good. I'm like, Anyway, with that, folks, thank you, Brian, thank you, Rachel, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. The outro tells you what to do. I'm Al Mega. Hasta la próxima.
Thanks so much, Al. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.